Morning, Trainiacs. I realize that I'm in my pajamas, but that my pajamas are not that different than what you normally see me in. Are pajamas just a state of mind, or are they actually clothes? So I'm starting to go through my morning routine and realized, hey, this might make a pretty interesting video because there's a lot of really weird stuff that I do every single day. A lot of the weird stuff that I do is unique to me, that I believe that it is helping me, but most of the things that I do have some sort of scientific backing that I've researched and tested and either found that it works personally, just, N of one, or actually gone on PubMed and in most cases found research that supports it. I don't like doing things that somebody just suggests and says, hey, this is something that really works, but there's no actual backing to it. Most of the things that I do have a lot of backing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share a few of the things that I like to use to keep healthy, to improve performance, to just kind of have a general sense of well-being, to help with overall health and wellness. And these are things that I like to do that are tweaks, small little tweaks that don't take a whole lot of extra time. There are things that most people do anyway to make sure that we're not just adding on more work. So if you're looking for some ideas about how you can maybe be a little bit healthier, improve a little bit of performance, and not really take up a whole lot of extra time, here will be some thoughts, ideas, tips, fun things to try. So the first thing that I like to do every single morning, and I have done this since Kona 2018 when I had some serious back pain, is foundation training. What happened is the very first day we got to the Hawaii Ironman World Championship is my back went out. And my back has been going out since I was 22. After Hawaii, my back was out for like 6 weeks, and Aaron Carson, strength trainer to the pros from Rally Sport in Boulder, recommended foundation training. A weird quirk that I have with this is that I do this on a grounding mat. So this grounding mat, put on the floor, it's plugged into the ground in the electrical receptacle, and this is kind of similar to if I was standing on grass. It connects you to the ground. And if you take a look at studies, this is something that helps with sleep, it helps with inflammation, it brings down cortisol levels. It's something that I did a video on recently. It costs like at most $80 to $100 and improves a lot of things. And if it doesn't take me any extra time and it's not like thousands and thousands of dollars, heck, why not do it? So I do this foundation training every single morning. I have the foundation training app, a membership to the app, and what I find is that as long as I do this about 3 times a week for about 10 minutes each time, my back hasn't gone out in, well, Kona would be right now. Hasn't gone out in 2 years. So if you have back problems, if you have sciatica, if you have slip discs, things like that, give it a try. And for bonus points, get yourself a grounding mat. Alright, this is where things might get blasphemous here. My coffee, which, tell me I'm wrong. My coffee, which is the lifeblood that fuels the dreams of champions, is delicious. And it's actually decaf. I know. You can actually find some pretty good decafs these days. The reason that I use decaf isn't because all of my coffees are always decaf. Basically, if I can, at home, quickly just swap out caffeinated coffee for uncaffeinated coffee, it does a few things. Number one, when I then have caffeine for a workout that I really need a big kick for, or a race, all of a sudden it has an effect. It has that performance enhancing effect that tends to go away a little bit as you just become adapted to caffeine. Next thing is that not having that caffeine going through my body throughout the day allows me to know basically where I'm at in training. If I find that I'm sluggish in the morning, if I'm needing a nap later in the day, that's natural. That's normal. And that's giving me a barometer of, am I getting enough sleep or am I pushing too hard? If I'm just jacking myself up full of coffee, all of those signals that we need to understand in our body end up getting masked. So I'll still go out and have coffees like regular coffees, but at home I just swap caffeinated beans for uncaffeinated beans. Petey is disgusted, right? I'm ashamed of you, Dad. Next thing I do is while I'm sipping on my coffee and just checking some emails, I'm gonna do a little foot circuit where I walk back and forth, like 20 feet there, 20 feet back. Whoa, Gracie. Tank. On the outside of my feet, the inside of my feet, on the heels, on the tiptoes, just to make sure that my feet are getting strengthened and activated in all different scenarios. Real ham today. Finally, the last thing that I like to do is, a lot of people meditate. I meditate. If you meditate and you're just looking at making it a little more sporty, or maybe just trying something new, there's something that I do. Instead of a 10-minute meditation, I do a 10-minute Wim Hof breathing meditation. So what this is it's like really, really deep breathing, breath holds, and the meditation that I do specifically is really, really deep breathing, forceful breathing, and then you do a breath hold and then do a little bit of activity and stretching. And then you do another breath hold with, instead of air in your stomach, no air in your stomach, and then again doing a little bit of activity. I'll show you in a second. And what this is doing is, it's just, in my mind, it's kind of combining a mental release. If you're gonna meditate anyway, maybe try to get a little something extra out of it. I'm sure it's like making the meditation a little bit worse, but it's also, again, not adding time to my schedule while still improving a little bit of performance, even if it's just like this little much. Always end these off with some back bends like this, or these back bends are flying cobras or something like that in yoga. But this, if you've got sciatica or slip discs like me, is just a real easy way, and I do this while the meditation is still going on, is a way to, as an athletic therapist who's also a chiropractor explained to me, instead of, these are the vertebrae, instead of your, say, vertebrae being open, maybe like the jelly, the disc, squeezing out, doing that back bend, just sort of realigns it. Seems to help. That's it for the morning. I do lots of weird things in the morning. We'll pick this back up in a bit. Midday check-in, Trainiac, and I'm tremendously average during the day. Besides drinking my body weight in fizzy water, cucumber chill, delicious. Not a whole lot doing. Check in later tonight. Things get freaky then. Seems to be the PD video. As I'm watching TV starting around 8 p.m., I put on blue light blocking glasses just to start telling the brain that it's not bright out. And this is definitely something that's been shown in studies to help you get better sleep. Basically, as long as you've got a TV, a laptop, a Gracie wants to be famous too. A TV, a laptop, a tablet, a smartphone, any of these things are emitting a blue light that is the same color temperature as being outside in the sun. And that being outside in the sun is a signal to your eyeballs and then your brain that it's not time to go to bed. It's once it gets dark out that it's time to go to bed. This is like being around a campfire, which is how we evolved. And the studies show that you throw these on, more likely that you'll get better sleep. I've never really found it to be like tremendously helpful, but again, it's one of the things that takes no extra time, and I get to look super cool. Right? Also, as I'm sitting and watching TV, again, this takes no extra time, but I do my hip flexor stretches. As we are sitting in the arrow position, as we are running forward, as we are swimming forward, everything is forward. As we're sitting at a desk, as we're sitting in a chair, as we are sitting and driving, everything we do is forward, and it's shortening our hip flexor, which then turns off our glute medius. That glute medius is really important for kicking, pushing backwards, and for stabilizing ourselves. Like, basically, if you get injured and you go to a physiotherapist, they're going to say that a weak glute medius is like, more often than not, what I've heard, 80-90% of people that I've talked to are like, yeah, like, I have a weak glute med and I need to work on it. So I stretch this out and watch a little Big Brother. Comments below. Who are you rooting for in Big Brother this season? You?
Cody? You put me on the spot. I don't know.
I don't have a favorite right now. Christmas, maybe.
Poor choice.
And I do the same 2 to 3 minute static stretch of basically calf all the way through the hamstring. Just to, well, I get Achilles issues when this starts getting too tight. So this just keeps it a little bit loose. I wouldn't recommend this for everyone. This is a specific to me kind of thing. The last thing is where it gets really weird and super attractive, like way more attractive than this. This is the last weird thing that I do, and maybe the weirdest thing that I do. You know how I started the day with breathing exercises? Breathing exercises can really control a lot of things. Alternate nose breathing is something that I've been trying for about the last month, and there is some evidence that alternate nose breathing, specifically inhaling with your left nostril, starts your body into a parasympathetic state. It increases your heart rate variability, starts your body on the repair process, just calming down, helping you get a better sleep, helping you just kind of relax your cortisol and your stress hormones and recover. So, right before bed, I read, and most of the time I have my finger like this, but NTK said that apparently that wasn't appropriate for this video. So I put medical tape on it. That is that. I'm going to go to sleep. If you aren't already subscribed and you want to watch a triathlete look like an idiot on YouTube, hit the subscribe button below. Later, Trainiacs.